In episode 1 of our house-cured charcuterie series, I demonstrated how to make a basic duck confit, and we finished the video by storing that duck confit underneath a layer of duck fat, the same duck fat we used to cook the confit in the first place. Now here's what it looks like once that fat solidifies, and normally speaking, you're going to cure the duck confit underneath that fat cap for at least a week. I prefer more along the lines of a month before serving. It just allows the flavors or the duck to ripen and the flavors to become enhanced through this ripening or curing process. At any rate, when you want to actually serve the duck confit, you have to first melt that fat cap, and you can do this over a moderate flame. And I like to put it on a sizzle pan or just a sheet tray and pop it into a hot oven, about 400 to 500 degrees Fahrenheit. And really all you're looking to do here is to crisp the skin, because who doesn't like crispy duck skin, and then heat the duck confit back through so it's hot when you serve it, because it's already cooked, so you don't have to actually worry about cooking it through. Now I'm going to drain that hot duck fat that's rendered off during the reheating process and the crisping process into a mixing bowl and add some more of that rendered duck fat to the mixing bowl, along with a little dash of honey and a little bit of salt and some Dijon. And yes, you've guessed it, I'm just making a simple duck fat vinaigrette, because there's millions of different ways to serve duck confit, but one of the simplest ways to do it, and one of my favorites for a mid-afternoon lunch, is just a nice little duck confit salad. So to the duck fat and the Dijon, I'm going to add a little bit of sherry vinegar, and this can be champagne vinegar or balsamic, whatever you prefer. I really like the flavor of sherry vinegar, and especially as it plays with the duck fat. Season with some pepper or other spices. And then I like to actually pour most of the vinaigrette out of the mixing bowl into another little separate reserve bowl. And then that just leaves me with a very thin coating that I can add my greens to, so I can very gently and lightly toss my salad greens. And here I'm adding arugula to the bowl. And then to this, I'm going to add some apple. And I prefer, in this particular preparation, the Granny Smith apple, because it has a nice sour tartness to it, which really helps to contrast the saltiness and the richness of the duck confit. And also, one of my favorite things to serve with duck confit is, especially in a salad, are some dried cherries. So I'll add some dried cherries for some texture and some flavor. And then I'm just going to mix that arugula just very gently, just with my hand, just toss the arugula around with the apples and the dried cherries and make a nice little platform. And then plop that nice crispy leg of duck confit right on top. And you can take some more dried cherries and kind of arrange them around the plate, just to add a little bit of eye appeal. And then finish by saucing with just a little bit of that reserved vinaigrette. And this is just a really nice, easy, simple way to serve your duck confit. Now, for more information and for this episode's show notes, you can head on over to stellaculinary.com/HCC5.